So, starting off today, we are going to work on a mini lesson about using bias effectively and do some practice writing. I want to reinforce something that I believe I've been saying over the course of this unit on persuasive writing, that argument truly is everywhere, that anything you see around you, your lives, media, everything is an argument. And there's a conversation going on in about just about every subject that you can imagine, through articles, through movies, through TV, through conversations, through social media. Everywhere you look, there's argument, and people are having conversations, whether directly or indirectly, with each other and responding to someone else's thinking and arguments. And so we're going to pick up there. And I just want to remind you that whatever you're writing about, there is an argument likely already occurring in the world about your topic. And you're a part of that. Your writing will be a piece of that, and it needs to respond to the argument that exists already about it. So I just want to give you some examples in looking at bias and thinking about it and thinking about your own writing. So here you see a image. It is the cover of the New Yorker magazine, a very recent, less than 2 months ago cover. And I want you to really look at it and to consider, what is it saying? The artist John Cuneo, who created it, what is he saying? What is he arguing? And equally as important, what is his image not saying? What is it not arguing? This image, cover of Glamour magazine. Mila Kunis is an actress, among other things. And really looking at it and considering it. What is worth talking about this? What is the argument in this image, in this cover? What is it saying and what is it not saying? What should we talk about or shouldn't? What's worth talking about this? Our last one here, again, a cover of the New Yorker from last year, not even a year ago. Look at that image. What is being said or argued? What is the bias? And what isn't being said or argued in this image? So you're going to do some practice writing about using bias. And what I'm asking you to do is to write for 8 minutes straight. Again, it will seem like an eternity, but it is a good way for you to get your thoughts out. Volume of writing is as important as the quality, if not more. I expect you to do bad writing sometimes. I do bad writing sometimes. In fact, the more bad writing we do, the closer we'll get to good writing. So if this ends up being bad writing, well, it gets you one step closer to good writing, gets out the yuck. But maybe this will be great. So I'd like you to spend 8 minutes, and you can go back and pause the video if you will, if you want, and look at one of those images and respond. I want you to write about it. That's it. And then after, I want you to spend 3 minutes zooming in to revise. And remember the effective revision tool of Radar. And I'd like you to use a different color to show what you actually changed. We're going to do some analyzing of our mentor texts now and the bias in those. So a lot of times we think of bias as being negative, but it can be used effectively for argument. And really, unless it's something is informational, it's going to have bias. And even as we talked about when we wrote for other pieces of writing, it's difficult to keep out bias, even if it's an informational piece of writing. So what you're going to do is I'm going to give you 10 minutes, or I'm going to ask that you take 10 minutes to reread 3 of the mentor texts: Save Us from the SAT, Depressed but Not Ashamed, and Religion Not Exempt from Free Speech. I'd like you to create a T-chart in your notebook. On the left side, I'd like you to write examples of bias in the 3 texts. On the right, why it works or is effective. And then after your 10 minutes is up, I'd like you to discuss with your FACE partner who's directly across from you and decide who is A and who is B. A is going to share one example from each text while B listens and adds it to their chart if they didn't have it. And then you'll switch, partner B shares, and repeat so that you get a really rich discussion about the examples of bias and how they work in the text.